You know what? I'm going to go with the team that I played for last year, Nancy. They have a lot of guys coming back. They have the point guard, John, the big fella, acaba, the core pieces, you know, Kenny, Grant. They got a lot of players, but they've had some good additions. Victor Samick is back, but they got some key additions with Mormon, Schuler, Pop. And the big addition is Batum. You know, the guy is a very, very good player, young player. I really like his game. You know, he does everything, and I think, you know, they built a team to compete in the Euro League at a high level, and I think, you know, with the guys coming together, they'll be competing. That's my pick for the you know, to win it again. I think it helps our game over here. You know, the guys who play over here in Europe have been over here for years. With the lockout, you know, it has its positives for us over here. You know, it's negative that, you know, we don't get to see the NBA going up and running like it's supposed to be. You know, preseason games will be happening right now, but in addition to that, it strengthens our game and it gives us more exposure over here. You got Darren Williams and Bishop Tosh. You got Tony Parker, who's, you know, the most famous French player back in Asvel. You got Nicholas Batum back. Kevin Serafin is playing really good at Caja level. So we're getting good exposure, and for the French league, it's going to help even more because they have a lot of talented players that are in the NBA from France anyway. You know, they made a great run in Eurobasket, and it's just going to help bring more exposure. You know, with Tony Parker and Nicholas Batum, you know, definitely America's going to be watching what's going on in the French league. And, you know, you have a lot of guys, a lot of ex-pros as far as that were in the NBA playing in home. So it's going to be great. You know, it's tough that they're not playing, but it gives more exposure to the European game. And it'll hopefully, you know, they'll see that we have players over here. It's just not a little side league. It's really competitive, and us players over here are playing. Well, the French ProA is a tough league, but we all know the ACB is considered the top league outside the NBA, from top to bottom. I think the similarities between the two is, in France, anybody can beat anybody, just like here. I mean, you have your dominant teams, you know, the Real Madrid, you have the Barcelona's, who's the top. Over there you have Asvel, who's, you know, one of the superpowers. But for the most part, from top to bottom, anybody can win out there in France, and it's really competitive. As far as here, you know, the game is a global game here. You know, the Spanish national team is very well known. So the players out here are good players, just the natural country players, talented players, good players, smart players. And vice versa in France. It's some smart players, talented, athletic players. I think the knowledge of the game here is what sets it apart. I think the players here, you know, are far mentally. It's a little more raw talent in Pro A as opposed to here. You know, and that's the difference between the two. That's why this league might be a little stronger because of raw talent. And, but the Pro A is a competitive league, and like I said, from top to bottom, you know, you can't take anybody lightly. The smallest budget team or the considered lowest team can beat the top team in France any night. And it's really competitive. You know, every game you have to go out and expect to go and give it your best. You can't overlook anybody in Pro A. And as of today, my first Pro A game, it seems that's the same way here. Every game is competitive, and you just got to come ready to play.